It is show time. It is show time. Woo. How's everybody doing out there? We are here. We are here. We are here. We are ready for tonight. I hope that everybody is well. Welcome to Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. Welcome. I just welcome you. We welcome you. Pray that you having a wonderful day, a wonderful week. It's still the beginning of the new year, and we're still excited. We stay excited. We stay excited and happy that you're here. Those of you that are here now that will come in, and those of you that will see this later. I want to first thank all of you who are looking at this broadcast in other countries and other states. I really see that the numbers are picking up. You may not see them in the front, but I have seen them in the back. And I am so grateful for you guys that are tapping in and looking at the broadcast, as well as going across the YouTube streets to the SIM broadcast. We are so grateful that you are, supporting the channel. Tonight we have an incredible show. Don't look where you fell, but where you slipped. Say things that make you go, And so we're going to get into this. Let's open up this show. All right. Once again, thank you for being here. Welcome to Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. And that is exactly what we're going to do tonight, like we always do. We chat. Sometimes it's a conversation. It might switch from a chat to a conversation, but nevertheless, we have wonderful information over here on this platform. And we're just grateful to have all of you here. We have our Bravette, the original first Bravette in the house, and we have to salute her. Going to bring up the crew in a minute, and we salute her. She says, I love this title. All right, we're going to get into it, my sister. We want to drop some jewels and some nuggets. Let me bring to the platform my co-host, Dawn B is in the house. Let me take them up. There she is. I took her, opened up her mic. She is here. How are you?
I am fantastic today. It is a great day.
You look fantastic
Thank
today.
you.
Oh my God.
Extra.
All right, look, we got my sister. We got my humorous one in the house. I'm here, pastor, sister, friend, traveling pastor, and daughter. Listen, Sandra Birthright, she's the one. She just gave you, she filled in all of the slashes for y'all tonight. And listen, we are just gonna just get into this. We're so excited about this topic. I'm excited about it because it hits at home for me. It hits at home for so many women. Those of you know this is a woman's channel. Let me bring up the crew. Let me bring up Pastor Rosa. We can't move without her.
Mom, that's my
Yeah,
mom.
that's your mom. That is your mom for sure. And we love her. I love her. You
Oh,
guys are going to see much more of
thank
her in
you.
the near future. Let's see what Inne is saying. She's already chatting in the chat. Hey, at Dawn B, sassy, classy. That's what I told her. I told her that, and she's greeting you, Pastor Rosa. She's saying hello to you. I tell you, she got it going on. She got those colors. And Sandra Birthright is saying, my love. Of course, she's talking about her girl, Pastor Rosa. She's not even talking about me and my co-host, Dawn B.
I'm the low man on the totem pole. I
You,
take my spot. It's all
you
right.
take your spot.
I'm not
It,
mad.
you're not mad. We're not mad at anything. Those of you, all of you know that this is a platform. Although we have the brave brothers that pop over, this platform was designed for women. That's why it's called Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. You may ask me why. Well, it's simple because I'm a woman and I have gone through through some things, right? But I'm on the other side of a lot of those things, right? But life continues to happen, but I'm ready. I'm strong. I'm ready to take on whatever comes at me. But this topic tonight, it's something I said I must talk about this. Don't look where you fell, right? Look where you slipped. I said, whoa, bomb. That's like a mic drop. And I thought about it so much, and me being a counselor and talking to women for so many years and talking to men and families, we have the tendency to continue to do things and never find out, how did I get in this place again? How did this happen to me again? And it's deep. It can get to a lot of psychological information on why we do what we do and how we find ourselves back in the same spaces and places, thinking that, oh man, I did that a couple of years ago. How did this happen again? And a lot of times that happens because we don't really research the root of how we got to that place. Because before we hit that fall, we slipped. And when we slip, right? Yeah, you don't slip now, but you don't have to hit that floor if you've learned some lessons that you might have had to learn in the past. So those of you who have just come in, come on and smash that like button for me. Hit that thumbs up button for us today. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, but don't forget to hit the bell. Hit that bell so that you get notifications when we are going live. So ladies, we are going to get and chop into this about behaviors, about how we find ourselves in the same space, how this happens, why does it happen, what is it that we need to implement more in our life and in our psyche for us to understand before we get to those same places, how we can avoid it, because we're human. We are human and we make mistakes, but you know, I always say mistakes are what we do, they're not who we are. Don't you dare claim that mistake and wear that on your back and wear that t-shirt. You are not a mistake. God does not make mistakes, although we are human. But the main thing with women, a lot of times we just don't get a break in a lot of areas of life, and we don't pay attention to ourselves, and we put ourselves on the back burner, and we don't pay attention to the mistakes that we've made, or we say, oh, I got through that. Well, you got through it, but it might pop up again. How are you going to handle it? How are you going to handle that next slip? Because we don't want you to hit the floor. You might slip, but guess what? Them banana peels is going to keep coming. They're just going to keep coming because
Yes,
life
ma'am.
don't stop, right? Life be life. And what do you think about this before we kind of open this up?
Listen, I was like, okay, I had to read it a few times because I said this here, and it had me thinking like, okay, let me think back to all right, because I spent too much time. I think we go through the shock of first of all even falling,
Mm,
and then when I think about it, I'm stuck when I'm at the place I'm at,
mm-hmm.
realizing that I've
Yeah,
fallen. And that's where I concentrate on instead of thinking about I'm focused in the wrong place,
yeah.
because where I'm at is where I need to get up from. But the real issue is what caused me to fall. Like
Oh
what,
my.
you
Oh
know,
my.
and so it was real deep. It was like a aha moment.
Yeah.
And it just definitely opened up. It's so much in here that we could talk about.
And we're not going to get through all of it. And we always talk about topics that need part one, part two, and part three, right? And we won't get through everything, but we'll touch on whatever. And you know how we do. Pastor Rosa, how you doing tonight? Come on and jump in. Tell me what you think about this topic. How you doing? How was your day today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm on my fourth chapter
Okay.
in
Oh,
so I get up in the morning, I'm at the computer, that's where I'm at, with my thinking cap on, and I get up for a minute and, you know, get creative and give my mind a break. That's the story of my life right now.
all right. But
Um,
you're progressing and you're productive, and that's the main thing.
yeah, because when I have something to do, I put my mind to it, and I'm not at peace until I finish what I commit myself to do. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I wish I wasn't that way, but you know, that's the way that
That's
I
how
am.
he wired you. He
Yeah,
wired you that way, so people get to you
yeah.
just deal with
Oh,
that because that's we had nothing to do with the wiring, right?
we
we
just
gotta
do it. We
we
just
gotta
do it.
figure it out once we hit Earth and grow up. We're like, oh Lord, how did you wire
I
me?
know.
So, what do
But
you think about this topic?
when I think about the topic, um, it was like, okay, don't linger. You know, when you think about, don't think about where you fell. Look where you slipped. You know, because one thing is, okay, I did fall, but there's something else that I missed. I could have, but I
Mm,
didn't. You know, so in between that, it's like I learned
yeah,
something in between fall and slip. You
yeah.
know, it's just say like if you like I talk to a lot of women and I ask them why would you stay in a relationship or at a job or a situation, for as long as you do, because I'm that person that when I see it's time to go, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. I don't, I make sure and then I'm out. And Dawn will always say to me, Mom, why don't you just settle down and what? Because if it's not right, I'm out. I'm not staying here, you know. So um, I
That's
look
good.
at it. To me, it's that the first time you you did something you didn't know, you had no experience, you had nothing to fall back on, nothing to compare anything to. But if you have fallen, if you don't make that change, you're gonna fall again.
Absolutely.
you know and sometimes midstream we don't even think about it.
Yeah,
We just sometimes we make the same mistakes that we made before, and then
absolutely.
maybe we might do it a fifth time.
Amen.
When I worked for social service, and young ladies used to come in and they would have maybe five or six kids or whatever the case may be, and they all had different fathers, and I'd be like, but when did you realize that you weren't a foot warmer or a baby maker or whatever? What were you thinking about?
Mm-hmm.
you know so that's how I look at that. I fell
Yeah.
the first time because I didn't know, but when I was getting ready to make the same mistake, you know, I slipped. The
Yeah.
fall wasn't complete. I had time to think.
Absolutely. And like what you're saying and how you said you're out. Again, that goes back to the wiring, right? Because we're so different in how we're wired, and some of us, the strengths and weaknesses fall in different places within us as women. Not only that, some of the things, let me tell you a few things as you both were talking, behaviors are also learned, right? And here's a few things that we could chop up. It might be as simple as a parent who was impulsive or self-centered, and now we tend to make decisions the same way, right? That's a type of slipping and falling. Childhood trauma is also a major contributor to constantly making the same mistake. Things like child sexual abuse, we know. Oops, well, yeah, I said it.
Mhm,
Things like that. Mental health issues. But what about, we have this thing called the toddler brain, the
mhm,
toddler brain, the blame it
mhm,
on the brain, blame it on
mhm,
the brain. So our brains are designed to repeat mistakes, right?
mhm,
Recreating what are called mistake pathways. They're still doing a study about that. It might be the bad decisions happen if we focus on our mistakes, right?
mhm,
We did it, we got through it, but we have self guilt, and we hold that guilt eventually is going to segue us back into doing either the same thing or something similar to it, because we haven't gotten free
right.
from that particular thing. But the toddler brain is something, it's our tendency to make mistakes, could also be connected to the influence of emotions, right? We
Mhm,
can resort to using our toddler brain, meaning we
mhm,
are driven by our temper, our sadness. And if we
mhm,
are too tired and upset to use our prefrontal cortex, our adult brain, it causes us to stay in that space where we're going to slip on a banana peel again and again and again. Simple as eating junk food, eating the wrong diet, constantly slipping up, doing the same thing you said you was not going to do. There's a whole plethora of things that cause us to what? Hit the floor, right? We slip, but we don't even catch ourselves before we hit the floor. But what we're talking about tonight is we're trying to give some information and talk really openly about to our sisters and to our brothers and people who would listen about giving a thought before you find yourself on that floor again. What can we say to you? What give you just mindful thought on what you can do? Look, I, as a counselor, has so many falls, right, in my life. So many falls in my life. I'm at a seasoned citizen age. You know, I don't do the senior. I do the seasoned because I am definitely seasoned through walking through life, right? I mean, I got some good sauce going on. I can sprinkle some things right now. You need to get in the kitchen. You can take me in there. I can pour some stuff out and get you straight. Put some of this seasoning on you. That's right.
Get you straight. I love it. Get them straight.
Get you straight, because I done paid the price, right? I done paid the price. So it's some good seasoning in here now, right? From me slipping on that banana peel, right?
Wasting no more time.
There you go. Absolutely. And waiting, you know, to just get it right, Sheila. Get it right. And so let's see what some of our comments, we got some chats going on in here. Let's put up this comment. See, I didn't even read it, but let's see what our Bravette is doing. She said, I sometimes spend so much time in the fall thinking of 40 reasons to beat up on myself that I hold myself hostage for 40 ways I can look. You see what she's saying, Dawn B?
Say it in there.
You see what she's saying?
Gotta sit in it for a second.
You got that you gotta sit in.
Yes.
You just don't breeze past that comment.
No.
Somebody in the back said read it again. And up in the bleachers. They said read it again. I sometimes spend so much time in the fall thinking of 40 reasons to beat up on myself that I hold myself hostage for 40 ways I can recover. That'll preach. She preaching right there.
It will.
That's so powerful. My.
That speaks to maybe not so much for her, but it speaks to insecurity in a lot of women. You know, we stay in things so long because we don't know our value. You know, you know, when you think about abusive women, my you know, it baffles me. It really does. That I had some clients that we put them in protective shelters, you know, and they would get on the phone and talk to the guy. The guy would come to the job, take them back to the shelter where they weren't even supposed to know, you know, he wasn't supposed to know where she was. And she left the shelter with the kids and he killed her. Yeah. My thing is that at some point, when does your mind change? I mean, there are thoughts that are going through your mind, but some of us are so, I don't even know what the word is I was going to say lazy mind, or we just really are dead to self, that we don't value ourselves. I mean, not even fear sets in, you know, you just walk right into that in that trap. You know, you
hit the nail on the head. You answered it. You said the low self-esteem. Sometimes low self-esteem can really take you under, right? And if you find yourself in a DV relationship, then you're really doomed. If there's no intervention. So you're right. You wonder like why, but the why is because the healing hasn't taken place. And if you haven't put a finger on that thing in you that causes you to accept that situation, that one thing, that's why, you know, if somebody, like even in my sessions, I say, give me one word not a sentence, just one word,
Yeah.
how you feel. It's almost like, you know, when we go into the ER and they have that chart and all these faces, show us how you feel, happy,
Right.
sad, or, you know, are you sick, you know, even in classrooms. But I do get what you're saying. It's the repetitiveness of being back in a situation that, you know, you see, you feel is wrong. But again, it's all internal. And if it's internal, it has to be a work. I say, if you don't identify it, you got to crucify it. You got to crucify the thing that causes you to stay. And that is so, that's why we're talking to our women and our sisters today, and men as well, about this. Let's see what this comment says right here. Sandra says, maybe if we realize that we slipped and no one pushed us down, keep the blame on ourselves. And if we almost fall, remember that we slipped because we were where we were because we were looking, we weren't looking. I think that's what she meant. Yeah, the blame game. The blame game. Go ahead, Dawn.
You know, just in reference to Inae's comment and Sandra's comment, you know, the thing that I'm hearing is we wallow in self-guilt, and don't give ourselves a chance to get to self-forgiveness or forgiveness of self. You know, that energy that we're putting into it is misdirected. You know, it happened, and yes, acknowledge it and learn from it, but don't stay there.
Yes.
You know, you can't, no one makes you feel worse about anything than you do to yourself.
Oh,
You know, it's my personal guilt that I carry around with me that no one
absolutely.
sees, that, you know, no one hears, because they see us still functioning and they're thinking that we're
Absolutely.
fine and we're over it. I don't even believe in getting over anything anymore, you know, because we get over stuff, we don't address it and it will live again. Like you're saying, we have to kill it, you know, and you have to really combat that mental place and
That's
that
it.
heart place and that soul place that you talk about, the soulish realm, and remove self-guilt. I said something to my mother one time about not allowing myself to be held emotionally hostage by anyone, you know, anymore. And then I had to turn that on myself and tell me, I'm not going to allow me to hold me emotionally hostage anymore and be guilty carrying that self-guilt of stuff that's already, you know, we've moved past that.
Absolutely.
Get to the place of start serving yourself with self-forgiveness. Start
Yes.
forgiving yourself first, you know, like you were saying, you know, and I just wanted to share that on that.
It becomes haunting, though. It becomes a haunting. You know, things haunt us, right? There's a haunting that comes, and we know as believers it's an enemy. Let's see what T is saying. We have T. Welcome. Welcome to Bravo.
Hi, T.
T says, it truly is about the slip, because I know I slipped at least twice before I fell. Oh, see, that's powerful. That means she had to interrupt it. That means she got it. She, you know.
And you're counting. And you can't just use you away. I feel you, T. I feel you.
I feel you too, T. I feel that. That is
before. So you still fell. So listen. Don't make me tell my story. Don't make me.
So she caught herself twice, but then she fell. But was it deliberate? You know, or was she just, you know, you have sometimes people say, well, you know, I just couldn't help myself, you know.
Right,
if you slip twice, you know, you got to think about the fall.
It's funny how we know how many times.
Exactly. We know. We know, but we think the slip going to fall going to be different. I'm going to fall on my side this time. You know, I ain't going to fall on my back. I can get up from my side. I can roll over.
Right.
I can hold on to the rail on my way down, you know.
The consequences are the same.
Oh my goodness.
That
was so good. That was so good. Let me see.
But you know,
put another comment up here. What did Inae say? Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. You have a youthful spirit. That's how I see you. Well, thank you so much.
You got it.
It's natural. It's no put on. It just, that's how he wired me, right? That's how he did it. He just wired me. She said, wait. T got a follow up. T got a follow up. T said, it wasn't Satan, it was me.
See, I'm
Exclamation!
about to send you
Exclamation!
some offering.
We gonna send her something off. We gonna send them
Right,
something.
the offering and juice. She working
Right.
on that pasta towel. You keep
No,
it up.
she's stirring it
She's
up.
stirring it.
She said,
He said the truth will set you free. You know, that's what
Right.
we're trying to do. We try to set people free.
She said
exactly.
it was me. It was me. It
That's
was me.
listen, and I say
This
that all
girl.
the time. Like like to be honest is the first step of being delivered. To
It's
be
true.
honest and not caring about the voices, the
Right.
chatter, what people say, because those
Yeah.
same folks is sitting there stuck. They'll talk about you being honest, but you'll be free and they'll still be stuck, right?
Right.
So you can't. I always say, turn the voices off.
Yeah.
Get free, deal with you, sit in you, turn the finger. When I started doing this, I say it all the time. When I changed, everything around me changed. Everything
Mhm.
around me changed. Sometimes
Mhm.
when that happens, it changes where people lose a grip on you or they lose
Right.
control on you. When they see you change, wait, what you doing different? No, but you have to understand, and we as women have to take charge of our lives, because even here it says what Pastor Rosa said, low self-esteem leaves us assuming we'll make the wrong decision, and lo and behold, we do. Or we
Mhm.
make the safe decision that actually holds us back because we don't have the confidence to take
Mm-hmm.
any positive risk. Everything is risky. Depression leaves us with such negative doom and gloom thinking, we can
Right.
try to avoid making any decision. It seems pointless. Anxiety hijacks, it just hijacks our thinking until it is increasingly illogical and paranoid. We think we are making good decisions, but we are making fear based decisions that
Yeah.
later can leave us feeling embarrassed. And lastly, adult ADHD.
Yeah.
Whoa, has a strong proponent of impulsiveness. So it's all mental. That's why, we're believers. And even though this is not SIM broadcast where we go hard with the Jesus thing in the Jesus world, everybody knows who I am. I don't
Right.
downplay God because without him, I wouldn't be here. And so I know that spiritual piece is very significant when it comes to healing. When it comes to healing. And so we must be able to implement and realize the soul is going to keep jacking us up because the soul wants to quiet the spirit down. But the spirit has to knock the soul out, that contending in the boxing ring.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to win. So we as women and people have to implement so many things, safeguards around us. Knowing yourself is one of the best things that you could do, because that's when you could put your personal perimeters in place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I was thinking about was where these things come from. Um, you know, my theorist is Abraham Maslow, and when he said, if a child gets hurt, if that hurt is not healed, the child will grow, chronologically and everything, physically, but they
Mm-hmm.
remain a child
Mm-hmm.
um, inwardly, emotionally, because that wound is still there,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And some of us are stagnant because no one has ever, words hurt, like we were saying the other week, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, but words hurt.
They
And you could
do.
have 15 people telling you you're wonderful, but then you have one say you're horrible. And
Oh,
we will believe the
true.
worst before we will believe, because we naturally think negative
Yeah.
of ourselves. We naturally think we're undeserving and all of that. But the liberty comes in knowing that, like you said, um, we know God is just understood. It's just
Yeah.
understood, but in knowing that you're loved, I remember when I first got saved and I was like, God, I never knew that you loved me. If I knew that, I would have got saved a long time ago, but nobody ever
Yeah.
told me, that he
Exactly.
loved me. They told me you're going to hell, and and they talk, just damnation and all that. I mean, so how are you going to get to heaven? Through all of that negativity. How do you love God through through all of that? But I said that because for me, it was, I hungered and thirst for that compliment for my dad, for my father, to notice me, because he was my hero, and I didn't want him to think more of me than he did the others. I just wanted him to notice me, well, fortunately, fortunately for me, before he passed, we had that conversation. And, it's healing for now, but all those years,
Yeah.
it's back there, so now I have to allow the healing to go back to that time. I have to now become the parent, and, for myself,
Absolutely.
and minister to myself and encourage myself, through the person of my father, from that one
Yeah.
moment, so it's so important that we as parents, that we build our children up, that we're realistic with them. We tell them, when it's wrong, we tell them when it's right. We don't overdo it, oh, because you went to school today. Listen, go to school. You're supposed to go to school.
Right.
If your IQ is a certain, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm not going to, it's
Right.
realism, but
That's
we
good.
look back where it came from.
Yeah.
And that's so important with counseling, as
Definitely.
depending on the approach that we use,
Yeah.
and how we're going to help that person heal themselves.
Yes, absolutely. You said something that really triggered something that I know in my sessions. A lot of times I've had women come in, and my counseling with the technique that I use, right? The RBT, the rational emotive, the irrational, rational thoughts. And when they would come in, as you said, a whole host of family members would love this particular person. And they would sit there crying and crying and like, nobody loves me. Absolutely nobody loves me. No, and I let them nobody. I'm telling you, I can't take this. No one loves me. And I'm like, okay, no one loves you. And this is how we are wired sometimes. This is why we have to pay attention to how we think and what we say, because there's an irrational and rational. You know that. And so when I say, okay, so no one loves you, and this sometimes could be the husband who she's having a problem with. And because of that one person who is giving her the blues, she capsules that as no one loves her because of the significance that he holds within her as the mate. And so because he has so much space within her, and he's really messing with her heart, her irrational thought now has totally went left, her rationality. And I says, well, okay, so if no one loves you, and then here's where I say, so do your kids love you? She go, yeah. What about your sister? Yeah. Your mama love you? Yeah, she loves me. And I go down and I just sit there, and then she'll look and she'll say, I said, you got it? That's an irrational statement that no one loves you.
Right.
So that's showing her as the counselee her own. She's getting her own answers.
Right.
That is not true. And then it shifts how she believes, because it's all about the belief system. So even with this, what we're talking about, do not look where you fell, but where you slipped. Have you ever found yourself thinking, I can't believe I said that? Or maybe I can't believe I made such a mistake again. Or if you're human, you've been there. I know I have the t-shirt. I don't wear that t-shirt anymore, but I had that t-shirt. I had that t-shirt. Let's doing things like thinking, you know how they say an addict, you keep, you get clean and then you keep doing something the same, keep getting high, keep losing your clean time, expecting a different result. You're not going to find it because it don't exist, right? So it's the same thing with behavior. You will find this if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if we're to stop looking at the mistake and search out the root of the mistake, like Pastor Rosa is saying, right? Not only will we understand the fall better, because you got to understand the fall. You may be down there, but you better get some jewels before you get back up.
Right.
Don't just say oops and get back up and just brush
Yeah.
yourself off because everybody looking. No,
Right.
you got to say to yourself, I'm down here again.
Right.
Let me lay here for a second and get something out of this because there's something wrong with me. So I'm convinced it begins in the mind, right? It's all in the mind. What do you think, Dawn B?
I just said, listen, while I'm down here, since I'm here, let me
That's just
just try to, I mean, at some point, don't you
Yeah.
get tired I know I did. I mean, that's just, you know what? I'm just going to stay down here for a minute. I
Wait
just
a minute,
need
we're
to
gonna have to call T up to the platform. T said, I had the t-shirt, the mug, and the bumper sticker.
listen.
She had a set.
Right.
She had
See,
the set and
she's
colors.
professional. Just
She a pro. She had the profession.
when you got do one better, T. I had my stuff was customized with my name on it.
so
It wasn't even on it had my whole name on it.
yeah,
The
I
whole name.
cannot.
She
Yeah.
had your name on it. So listen,
Spelled
how about
to
it's
begin
not
to end.
fair? It's not fair. This one plays on our ego and that's and our sense, our self, our sense of self. It'll crop up, just when it knows we're vulnerable. See, this is where we have to, that's why I said we have to learn ourselves and put the perimeters around ourselves as individual women, because I'm not wired like you. I may have some things in common, but my trigger may not be your trigger, right?
Right.
When I'm getting ready to slip, that banana peel, I'm getting ready to slip, and you may walk past that thing, right?
Right.
Because that's not something that causes you to stumble, right?
Right,
And
right.
and they says, I'm loving this. And they says, do y'all do the look around to see if anybody saw it?
What? What?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
quick neck snap. The quick
I know.
you got to check.
So it sounds to me
So-
like where we place the value, it's where we place the value. Like you said, with in the instance where I slipped a couple of times, but then I fell. The third time I fell, it's like the value was what is really like. There's something there. Sometimes we feel like we're missing something. Like if I don't completely make a fool out of myself,
yes.
I've missed something. But it's where you place more value on things on the outside of us than we do.
Absolutely. For
But
sure.
at the
For
same
sure.
time, I
Uh-huh.
think you have to give yourself, because even as we were talking before, things I was hearing was, perfection and excellence. We get so caught up in this image of perfection that we have to be perfect in everything that we do. Yes, we should always exude excellence, but the expectation and the pressures that we put on ourselves to be that, and not give yourself the space to know, and then not from a
So,
human excuse point of I'm only human, but you have to give yourself space and grace to know that you are going to slip. There's going to be times that you're
yeah,
going to slip. It's what you do with it, how you
absolutely.
handle it and how you get back up.
Right.
So when you were talking before, just to kind of go back for a second, how the negative statements tend to stick out more than the one negative has more weight than the 35 positive. It's
Absolutely.
because that one negative statement has exposed your vulnerabilities, or your imperfections. It's someone sees where I don't have it all together, or something happened that exposed, and it's okay. It really is okay. Now I think you need to watch who you're around, be mindful when you slip, but give yourself grace at the same time,
Yeah.
through it all, and that will help to counteract that guilt that
That's
comes
true.
with,
That's true. You said something important. Who you fall in front of is a big thing, because who
Right.
you fall in front of
Mm-hmm.
will be the telltale of how you might get healed or might not get healed.
because everybody ain't gonna help you up.
And also in the fall, you actually see who's a part of you, who's with you. Because we're talking about the fall, we're talking about you slip, but you're going to hit the floor, right? But we're also talking about all the dynamics that go within what kind of fall is it, right?
Mhm.
We talked about the mental. fall. We talk about the personal fall, but oh man, this is like so powerful because, we're going to fall. But like you said, like Ine just said, do we look around to see who
Right.
saw us fall,
You saw
right?
us fall.
And sometime a fall, you can't hide that. You can't kind of cover that. It's just a fall, right? A fall in life. And based on that's why your circle and the people that is in your circle, in your village, in your camp, and around you, you won't know who's the real deal until you have some falls. Let me I have to greet my sister. She's in the house. Viverette Morton. Blessings, everyone. Just got on. She is the love one. I mean, I love this family. And you know how I always talk about my spiritual mom that passed away a couple of years ago in Florida. She is the bio daughter, and they know they allowed me to share. They shared their mom with me. And she was the intercessor that covered me for my entire walk. When my mom passed, God stepped her in. And so I welcome you, my sister. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. So listen, this is good. So you have to be so mindful of who's around you. And like I said, I done slipped enough to know who's with me and who's not with me. And I'm not looking for really new friends, new acquaintances. That doesn't mean that God won't send a new jewel in my life. So we have to be mindful not to have guards up so much that we don't recognize a God thing, right? So here's it says a few most let me finish this here because I want y'all to talk about this. When I was saying that it's not fair, this is the blame game and how it's not fair. How did this happen? It's most important. It says the thought will grow in size and become it isn't long before total resentment sets in with a fall, right? The setting is ripe at this point. It is ripe for the words to be said that you'll regret. The trick is to cut that first thought off of the knees. Cut the thought off at the knees. Hey, you down there? Wait. I'm not. I'm almost. When it shows up with it's a pity party in a box, stop it in its tracks, right? By saying you're happy. When something happens that you expect should happen for you. We're talking about it's not fair. Somebody gets a promotion on the job and you thought it should be you. Right now, you're going to run your mouth. You're going to do some things and you're going to cut yourself off. You're going to fall if you don't check yourself. He's not good enough for my daughter. Here's a good one that a lot of parents go through with their daughters. She's not good enough for my son. Okay, who is? In all seriousness, this type of thought causes more friction and disharmony in families than we could even get into. No one is a winner when one family member decides to close their mind against another. It's no win situation that will only lead to the fall after fall after fall, right? We don't all have to like all of our family or our in-laws, but if we keep harping on negative thoughts and comments, that's why you're not good enough for my son. You're not good enough for my daughter. You're causing disharmony. Things is not going to fall in place the way you want them to. So we again have to be so mindful to understand how we, before we fall into something with our mouths, fall into what we think we should push on other people because it's our view, right? What do you think about that, Dawn B? You have a son.
I do. I surely do. And yeah, so I said, you know what? you know me, I'm real. I keep it real. I let little girls know, listen here, okay? I raised him a certain way. And moreover, I let him know I raised you a certain way. Be mindful I was going to say what you bring home, because sometimes it is what you bring home. But above all, be mindful who you bring home and what you attract. Now, I would never impose my feelings as long as he's not in any physical danger. I'm going to respect your choices. And I'm not going to talk down about the person that you're with, because I understand that affects you and it's going to create a greater wedge between you and I. And that's what you don't want. But I'm going to keep it real with you at the same time about what I see, because, we as parents, we have a wider scope, a greater view
True.
than our children at any age. My mother she was 25 years difference between us. She has a wider scope and view of
Yeah.
life than I do, even at 53, you know. And I think we just have to be very, you said one of the key words, which is understanding, you know, and another key word that goes along with that is respect.
Yes.
We have to be very careful that we respect, like I said, we don't have to agree with the choice. We don't have to like a
Right.
decision. And I think we take it so personal and to heart because we can see somebody heading somewhere and want to warn them and help them. And they don't want to listen. And the problem is
Absolutely.
when they fall, they
Yes.
come right back to us to pick them up.
That is
And then
true.
we have the attitude of, well, I don't really want to help you up because I told you you was going to fall to begin with. So that's
Right.
you got what you wanted. So why should I help you? Why would you
Yeah.
listen to me now? But you know, we have to put understanding and respect in its proper place. You know,
Absolutely. And
um,
that's good because lessons, you know, this what we're talking about is across the board
yeah,
because banana peels are going to always be in our way. You,
yeah,
there's always going to be opportunity for because no one has arrived to the point where you will not make a mistake, right? Mistakes again are what we do, not who we are. And when you think about how we say this is a woman's channel and we're speaking to our sisters, right? Even though the brothers, we got the bravettes, but we got the brave brothers that pop over, but we got the bravettes in the house tonight. And so our lives, right? We may not even see or interlock or interchange, but we have lived similar situations, right? Based on again how we're wired, based on decisions that we make in relationships, right? The lessons have to be learned, right? So that I mean, it doesn't mean you're not going to fall again, but the fall need to be in another creative kind of way. If
yeah,
you
not
could,
so
you know,
hard.
it's got to be
Yeah.
like
Time.
Right.
designed a
Like you said,
little,
be creative the next time.
designed a little bit different.
Right.
You know, because
Just don't let it be the same fall, right?
Right.
Just not the
that's
same.
it, not the
Fall like
same
you said,
way.
fall a different way. Fall to the left this time.
Because we know the enemy is busy. We know that the enemy is busy, and especially those of us who are believers and even women who are not believers, the enemy is always busy to cause havoc. Again, it's the soulless nature trying to shut down the spiritual. And you know, we have the King of Glory has to win, right? So let's talk about the how to avoid making some of the same mistakes again because it's 7:50. You know, we usually go for an hour. I don't like to hold the crew too late, right? So how to stop making some of these mistakes? Stopping ourselves from making the same mistake is not instant. It's work. We got to do the work. It takes work and what? Commitment to
Yeah.
yourself. You know how I always say self, I'm sorry. I'm
Right.
so sorry, self, I did that to you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, self, I slipped on that banana again. You know, you
That
got
that one. That's the
that,
one.
that's the one. So we have to focus on the future. Learning from mistakes has its place. But if we are constantly focusing on what we did wrong, here goes Pastor Rosa, and why, we are actually making it more likely we will make the same mistakes, right? Over and over. Let's stop there. Talk about that because we're tying this night up.
I think you have to start for me. I think you have to start with um not liking where you're at because the truth is some of us keep slipping in the same spot because we happen to like that spot.
Mm.
You know,
Oh, whoa.
I'm just saying.
Whoa. Mom, she's doing
Mhm.
it. Whoa, you stirring it. You stirring it
I
now.
waited to the end of the
No,
show this time.
you stirring it. Wait, because then I could read into that as a woman. Wait a minute
Yeah.
now. we can. That is not a puzzle.
It's
We could read into that.
Hmm.
So we slipping. We can't stop the slip because we like the fall.
right.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's real. That's
I mean, that's it. That's like uh,
that is real.
if you like your personal forte or whatever preference is, you prefer a light skinned man. Okay, but what else does he have besides being light
here
skinned?
she
You
go.
know what I'm saying?
Here she go.
What what else does he have? You know, aside from that, and
This lady.
hey, you don't get into
She was doing so good.
kind, or he's,
He just light skinned,
generous,
mom. He's light skinned.
but he light skinned.
That's enough, right? It's
So this is as far as it goes. He's light skinned. You got 5 babies. He don't have no job. Kids don't have no clothes, but he light skinned.
But because that's what you like.
Because that's what you like, Mom.
That's what you like. So you get what you like. And until you stop liking
I had a
it.
girlfriend, and she said she wanted her child to have. She wanted to get pregnant. She wanted to get pregnant by a light-skinned guy that had curly hair. She did. She got pregnant by a light-skinned man that had curly hair. He paid no attention to the child. The child ended up on drugs. She ended up marrying a man that beat the daylights out of her. So where did that get you? How'd that work for you? But he was light-skinned. It was all, and so honestly, do we listen to what we're saying?
Yeah, we do, but you like what you like, Mom. You like what you like,
and
so it sound right. So finish your go ahead. Wait, but we stopped doing B. Go ahead, because see, when you did that, you're right, Mom. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But when you went there as females,
mm-hmm.
that was a good point, because just as simple as someone the type of color that attracts you, because it's about attraction. Right. Same thing with men. They're visual. They like what they like. Right. But
Hips
women have their
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I didn't raise her this way, y'all.
I'm sorry. But she can't cook. She don't have a thought process. Okay. I'm sorry.
You already there, Mom. You can't go back now. We live.
We definitely live. Wait a minute. So so Dawn, you done open this up though. It's your fault.
I'm sorry.
No, it's your fault. Because as females, you are right. We could fall. We done went through the mental thing. We went through our little list, and now we closing the show real powerful here.
Right.
So we like what we like. And so you say to slip. You keep slipping because you like where you landed. You're landing. So how do you stop that behavior? Because that's behavior. And that's, again, internal stuff, work that you got to do on the inside of you, right? On the inside.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We got T again.
Come on, T.
Come on, T, with it. Let's see what T is saying. T is saying, sometimes the fall fills the void, even if he's light-skinned.
Even if it just so happens, it's even better.
we gotta want more than to fill the void.
But she's right.
But that's two things. Because now he got 2 things. He's filling the void and he light skin.
And he light skin.
He's doing better than some others who just got 1.
But the thing we're trying to get across is
and
that
this is
we
good
are
because
more
she's saying that though in so many words about it, that she's saying real life situations, and this is how it happens. And we're giving them, like you said, we have to change this mindset. We have to fix this slipping on this banana over and over in whatever area you're slipping in.
Yeah.
Right? In whatever area. This is vast. It could be on whatever area. We've covered even corporate. You're at work. Someone gets a promotion. You think it should be you. You start doing all type of stuff that causes you to never get a promotion. You done seen, you done slipped and fell dead right into the trap because you couldn't handle, because again, internally, you're not fixed right. You haven't sat in yourself. When you slip, there's a lot of colors that come up out of that fall.
Yeah, that's true.
Whole rainbow.
That's true.
Like a bag of Skittles.
Red, blue, green. Listen.
All the colors.
All the colors. You be like, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was like that.
Right.
I thought
you even make some new colors up.
I thought I was healed. I didn't know. That happened to me around 10 years ago. I don't know how I found myself in that place again. Pastor Rosa said, you ain't get fixed. You just went on. You just got up.
Right.
No message within the fall.
Right. And the pain. And the pain that comes with it. It's not worth it. It's really, it's not. And it's waste your time. It's wasting your time. You've gotten nowhere. absolutely
Absolutely.
nowhere.
But we don't sit in that pain a lot of times because if you think
Mm-mm.
about it, when you fall, the first thing you try to do is get up and walk it off
And keep, yep,
and act like it never happened,
and
and then the next day when you go to get up, now your knee hurting because you didn't tend to it,
true.
because we don't want to sit in that pain because
And
it
it causes,
acknowledges that
yeah,
we have fallen.
and it causes so much because that's pride right there, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's straight pride because the humility has to kick in at some point because when you humble, that's when healing takes place. When you're humble, that's when you don't care who saw you fall. When you're humble, that's when you don't care who said what about you because your goal is you going somewhere. You see the
Yes.
end of the tunnel, you see the light, and you have to go through sometime public persecution. I have done it to get to the place called there, and you have to be strong enough, skin like a duck at some point to where it doesn't destroy you because people can destroy you with words, with their voices, right? They can do so much damage to you because you fell in whatever way. So what about learn goal setting that works? A great way to focus on the future is to learn how to make goals that are not only exciting but they are actually you can achieve them. This means learning how to make smart goals. They have to be
Hmm.
smart and then know how to troubleshoot the goals if things aren't going to plan. Listen, that troubleshoot, thinking, like we said, think before we get ready to move back to a space that we might land up where we were before. Number three, try mindfulness. Psychology, as we've seen, shows that emotions can both help and hinder decisions. Committing to a mindfulness practice helps us be more and more in the present moment and less in control of our racing mind and our negative emotions. And that is so true because you know that old tape, that old data wants to come up. That old data. That's why the Lord tells us renew your mind every day.
Amen.
We have to
Amen.
daily
All
have the
day.
mind of Christ, put the armor on, armor tight. We have to gear up. We have to
Yeah.
take care of it. We can't just walk around thinking, no, no, no. We have to gear up and be armor tight. Number
Mhm.
four, and I'm going to let you guys talk. Raise your self compassion. Remember, bad decisions are more likely if we go into toddler brain and act
Mm.
from our temper. And beating ourselves up is one way to trigger the cloud of emotions and helplessness that makes this far more likely. All right, I got two more, but I'm gonna let you. I said a lot.
And after the tantrum, we haven't, like you said, that the intimate, you haven't learned anything. You had a tantrum, you get up, and the that information is still at a deficit because you haven't learned anything.
True.
But truthfully, I mean, I'm sitting here and as you were talking, I was saying, oh God, we have our work is cut out for us. We really need to reach out here and be a lifeline for
Yeah.
for the ladies. I mean, like Ezekiel, God's, would say, if when the trumpet is sound, you hear it, warn the people. If they don't want to listen, that's on them. But we need to be out, I mean, it just hit me how desperate,
Yeah.
the need is
Yep. That's why
for
we're
for
Yeah.
for for the message.
Yes, absolutely. And those people know that we have information if they need to reach out. It's
Right.
always up on the banner. We are here to talk in private. We have emails that
Right.
they can everything is confidential.
Hmm.
And I'm a stickler for that. I mean, you can't be a good counselor if you're a chatterbox, right?
No.
So so but go ahead, Dawn B.
Mm. Oh, well, I would just say, when you were talking about goal setting, set realistic goals. It's good to, be real with yourself, acknowledge where you are. Don't set a goal so far out that you won't reach it right now because you can have a long-term goal, but you got to get there and
Yeah,
allow yourself the time. And this
true.
again, I'm big on grace to get there. It's one day at a time, one step in each day. Because until you get it right, you're not going to reach your final goal until you get those first little steps
That's it.
correct. So
Yes.
give yourself realistic. And listen, if you didn't I know for me, I started patting myself on the back if I made it through the day not making that phone call. If I
Listen.
made it through the day not answering the phone
Wow.
call. If I made it through the day not responding to a text. And when I decided to start blocking, and it's male and female, it's not just, one side, because I had to do what I needed to do to preserve me,
That's good.
and that was key. And those were small steps that
That's
I
good.
didn't realize how much of a big effect they would have later on. Because you're really detoxing from a way of living,
Yeah.
That's good.
and trying
Yeah.
to take on a new habit.
That's
So
good.
just set those realistic goals. I'm all for goal setting, but make them
That's
real.
good. That is so important. Being kind to yourself and giving yourself time to breathe and get to the place, because you're focusing. When you're focused, you know where you want to land. Let's see what on one of the comments here. Uh, Ine says, I like that. Goals and grace. She likes that, Dawn B. She likes that. Okay, look at this. Self-compassion has become a hot topic in therapy circles of late, which is true, chiefly as it seems a faster route to self-esteem, better self-esteem. It means treating yourself as kindly, I just said that, as you do your best friends. We've been saying that. Be kind to yourself. Apologize to yourself,
Right.
right?
Right.
Right. Apologize in the sense where you don't hold yourself in contempt
Right.
and guilty. Get support. Accountability is another great tool for keeping you on track to better decision makings. Accountability is always good.
Mm-hmm.
Working with a counselor or a psychotherapist is a good thing. Provides weekly accountability, or someone you're close to that won't let you slip and slide. Someone that will
Right.
love you back to where you need to be.
Oh,
A godly rebuke doesn't hurt. I
Right.
used to hate in churches when people be rebuking folk. I said, that ain't God. You don't rebuke people and crush them and hurt them and cut them. You rebuke them in love where they receive it, what you're
Right.
saying, so they can get where you're trying to get them to go and to be. So we're gonna wrap up. This was a great, great, great broadcast tonight. I want to give you guys the last words. Pastor Rosa, jump in, because she's on the road tonight. She's in a serious space tonight.
listen, ain't nobody fooling
She in
with
a,
her.
she in a serious space tonight.
I learned a lot. I really did. I learned a lot about myself. I'm listening to what you were saying, and I realized a lot of the things you were talking about I've already applied to myself. I don't claim to be perfect, but I do a daily check on myself. I check myself at the end of the day, what I said to someone, did I hurt someone's feelings or whatever, because I am a stickler for uh, I don't like to hurt people's feelings, even if they hurt mine. So I guard my mouth. I look back and I see where I've been, or like you said, I look back and say, why did I marry this guy? I do a review on me, and that's the only way that you're really gonna learn.
You do a review. I like that. Do a review on yourself. You don't need nobody else reviewing you,
Oh,
because it's your
Jesus.
story and That's right, Pastor Rosa.
I check me.
You check you. I'm telling you, we gotta get to that point where we check ourselves. You don't need no one to come and check you, because if you done slipped on that banana peel over and over and found yourself in all these different places, just take notes how you got there, right? And before you know, you might be getting ready to slip, and then I ain't going down this time.
No, I ain't going down.
I'm not going down this time. Let's put this comment up from T. She's been a blessing tonight. She says, great broadcast, ladies. Bravo. Thank you so much. We're so happy that you're here. You really added to the broadcast tonight.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Dawn B, what do you have for the ladies?
Well, my signature phrase has become, and my personal mantra is, trust your own voice. Learn to trust your own voice. Because the truth of the matter is, your own voice is never going to do anything or tell you to do anything that is going to bring you harm. It may cause you to make some difficult decisions that may be painful to you emotionally, but in the end, it's going to benefit you and help us avoid
Yeah.
that slip and the repeated slip.
Yeah.
And just give yourself a chance. That was something the Spirit said to me personally earlier in this week was give yourself a chance. Give yourself the chance to be great. Give yourself the chance to be blessed. Give yourself the chance to be wonderful. Give yourself the chance to be beautiful, to be worthy, tap into that. Give yourself, you deserve that
Absolutely.
chance. You don't have to slip. If you do, that's fine. And sometimes, we keep making mistakes till we get it right. But don't stop trying to get it right.
That's
Trust
good.
your voice.
That's good. Let's see what my sister says. It's a comment here. She said, "This was so good. I do tend to check myself daily. Keep encouraging." Thank you so much, sis. And thank you for being here. Those of you, if you didn't hit that like button, please. I'm trying to get this algorithm to push Bravo with Sheila into the YouTube streets deeper. And so as you hit the like button, it really matters to us YouTubers. It means a lot. It seems like it doesn't, but it really does. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that bell so that you know when we're going live. I want to say, don't look where you fell. Just don't look where you fell. Don't do it. Look where you slipped, right? And remember that when nothing changes, nothing changes. And what do you have to do? Keep it moving. I don't need to say anything else. The crew has really set the tone. The chat has really given you jewels tonight. We had a wonderful broadcast tonight. Stay tuned for more of Bravo with Sheila. Also, stay tuned for the SIM Sheila Ingram Ministry broadcast across the street, across the YouTube streets, where we closed out today with our last session on the incubator. And we're excited that on the 27th of this month, Minister Dawn B and myself will be starting the Abiding series. Oh my God, we're so excited about that. Yes. We'll have special guests coming in to open up, have a round table and talk about the abiding. When I first became a believer, that's one of the first things I ran into. The shortness of it, abide in me as I abide in you. But the power that is within that is our whole lifeline and walk with the Lord. So we have had a great time tonight. Listen, I'm excited. You ladies, the crew, you knocked it out the park, and we stirred the pot. We stirred that thing up tonight. We stirred
girl,
up.
Yeah, she did that.
But who did that?
That girl.
That girl. T.
that lady.
That lady. T stirred. She stirred the pot tonight, and so we're so excited that you guys are here. We thank you once again for being here. Stay tuned for more. If you need any counsel or anything, it's inside the description, and we will be here for you anytime you need us. We are here. And so we're going to close out with a soft closing. I think let's do a soft closing because it's getting late. So here we go. God bless you all. Mwah. Smooches. See you soon. Later, Bravets. Thank you.